Guys, welcome to the hustle. Welcome to the journey. I'm homeless right now. The YouTube mastery course by hoomanTV is not really working out for me. And, I'm trying to make it. I'm trying to build a story, build a hustle, build a journey. It's all about that. It's all about the grind. It's all about sacrifice. But with that being said, guys, I do only have $1 in my pocket right now, which doesn't seem like a lot, but it's going to be a big deal when I'm telling my story on some TEDx stage. And you may be wondering, why did I fake being homeless for clout? And I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna be transparent with you. It was a calculated decision to build my story and better my online web presence. So here's the thing, I can talk all day about how hard I work, how I never sleep, how I work 10,000 days out of the year, 12 hours per minute. And it doesn't mean that much to you guys until you compartmentalize that into a story. I need to tell you a story. And the problem is I don't have a great story. So I've been learning from people who are online, who also don't have great stories, who are trying to reinvent themselves as poor, people who are started from the bottom, now they're here. And as you guys know, one of my big mentors, one of the people I really look up to is hoomanTV or hoomanTV, the guy who does gold digger pranks. Now, unfortunately, he did block me on Twitter after I was complimenting how he was faking being on Ellen for clout, how cool that was and how unique that was. My Photoshop team is actually working on getting me on Ellen right now as well, which I'm pretty excited about. But I didn't just take that as a lesson from Hooman. I also realized that you have to have a great story. He's the person who taught me that, because after all, hoomanTV talks about how he was homeless in that sales video that's now been deleted from the internet.
Just 4 years ago, I was homeless, sitting in front of downtown LA's train station with just $17.25 crumbled in my pockets.
And at first it was discouraging to me because I thought, how can I ever compete with a story like that? Well, the story is not as he described it. Instead of being homeless, instead of having nothing else to do, he voluntarily left his parents' house because he was mad at them.
I lived with my parents at the time, and they're Persian parents, so they were like, yo, you gotta go to school, get a degree, and I'm like, no. I was homeless for 4 days because I just couldn't take their shit anymore, so I was like, yo, I'm leaving.
And not only that, he wasn't homeless for that long.
I was homeless for 4 days.
At which point he decided to go back to his parents' house.
Then I realized, I can't do anything without my parents because I have no money. So I went back, said sorry.
This is kind of a far cry from I was homeless and had no options. And I realized, man, I could do that too. I could leave my house for a little while and, become homeless. And over time, you could just transform that story from I moved out of my parents' house because I was annoyed at them, and then moved back in with them after, I realized they had money and I didn't, and I was basically relying on them. And you can transform that into I was homeless and grinding and hustling and I had nowhere to go.
Just 4 years ago, I was homeless
because I just couldn't take their shit anymore. So I was like, yo, I'm leaving.
I grew up in a very poor family. My father was a drunk and would always look for an excuse to give me a beating.
So they were like, yo, you gotta go to school, get a degree. And I'm like, no. Yeah, become an engineer, because my whole family is all dentists and lawyers. So I'm the only child to not go to college in the past 1,000 years in my family tree. So.
And so when I realized that, I realized it's a game changer. It's a total game changer, which is why I'm making this for you. If you're someone like me who wants a hustle story but has absolutely nothing to complain about, you can reformat your life to make it sound much more sympathetic. So what I decided to do was to go into a box for 2 hours in my backyard. I used a Craftsman box. I think we got it at Home Depot. That was my home for 2 hours. Thank you for keeping me safe. In about a year from now, I'm just gonna change that from I was homeless in a box voluntarily, and I'm gonna say, I was homeless, I had nowhere to go, and I'm just not gonna mention the time frame it was on because that is a little bit embarrassing that I wasn't able to do it much longer. I was shooting for 3 hours, only could make 2. And you might be thinking to yourself, wow, that's a scumbag move to be exploiting people who are homeless, but I just don't think you understand how, entrepreneurship works, man. We're all about the fake it till we make it club, and anything to, exploit us entrepreneurs, we're up for it. I mean, take Austin Allred. He is the CEO of Lambda School. Now, this guy is another voluntarily homeless character. So when he was doing his startup, he voluntarily became homeless and moved into his car. Now, as time has gone on, that's transformed from, you know, I was voluntarily homeless, and it's turned into, hey, Jesse, I'm also formerly homeless and the co-founder of Lambda School. You know, you just drop the voluntary part and he just becomes homeless. If you change the narrative, eventually you can fake it till you make it. So that's what I'm doing. I'm gonna go finish my 2-hour quest. I've actually been breaking it up into chunks. So I'm gonna go finish my 2-hour homelessness streak.
2 hours later.
And just surviving is the hardest part. So, you know, I'm about 2 hours into homelessness. And I think honestly, I can't take it anymore. I'm gonna go back inside. Okay. Babe, I'm finished being homeless.